Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting. Including today, Walmart is apparently working on a brand new 4K Google TV streaming player. This seems to be an upgraded version of its current 4K streaming player. We'll tell you what's happening with this and more. Roku's making streaming a little bit more friendly to people with disabilities, which is really nice. I know many people who need some of these features. We'll tell you what they're doing to make streaming more friendly and accessible. And Amazon's Freevee is adding some new channels. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you're new here, you can find a link to each story I talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment, so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here though, do me a favor, either hit that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of television. But still watch the show so you enjoy. So with that said, let's dive into it. So Walmart is reportedly working on a new Google TV 4K streaming player. Now Walmart last year released two streaming players, an HD version for $14.99 or something around that price, and an 4K version at $19.98 or some random kind of weird number. The important part here is they were wildly popular. Very cheap, very budget friendly, worked very well. We've had one in the office here for a while, and it works really well. Now, though, it seems that they are working on launching a new one. 91 Mobiles spotted a filing out there for a new, quote, this is how Walmart described it, on 4K Pro streaming device with Google TV or Google TV. Now, what does that mean? This is an upgraded, higher-end performing device. This is an upgraded version of last year's device. It'll be about a year. It's hard to say what they're doing here because all we know is this device comes with 5.2 Bluetooth that will connect it to the remote. That's not unusual. The remote already was Bluetooth. I'm not sure if it was 5.2 on that. But the important part here is Walmart is working on a new streaming player for Google TV using the On brand. We'll have to keep a very close eye on this because that $19 price and change price point for the 4K version sold a lot, and it seems like they're hoping an upgrade version may do the same. Now the Pro name on this does make me wonder, will this be an upgrade of the existing model, or will this be something new, higher end on the market? Because the current box is not called a Pro version. So that Pro version could mean maybe this is a slightly more expensive, higher end version of the 4K. We'll have to wait and see, but that's everything we know about that. Let me know, what would you like to see in a 4K streaming player from Google? All right, Roku is working on making streaming more accessible to those with disabilities and is putting limits on autoplay. Roku this week informed developers that of a new certification process that will require them to make closed captions work with their settings and available on all streaming apps that are on Roku. Also, Roku's new certification process will require streaming players to recognize a universal do not have autoplay feature. So Roku is adding a new ability in presumably a future version of its OS where users will be able to do two things. First of all, set captions, where captions will work the same across all apps. So one time setting captions, we either turn them on, turn them off. You can, with Roku TVs, for example, also enable them to only turn on when you have the television muted. All streaming players or apps will be required to honor these settings. Also, there'll be a universal autoplay on and off. You'll be able to go in the settings and disable autoplay, and all apps will be required to follow that. Now, Roku's new autoplay policy will go into effect on October 1st, 2024. And this is part of their upcoming channel certification process. Now, this will impact all new apps, and all updates to existing apps on that date or layer must meet these new requirements in order to be supported. Very nice to see Roku making moves to make closed captioning easier to use so that one click turns them on and off across all apps. Very annoying to be in Hulu, have it working, then have to go into Sling and have to set it up, then go into Prime Video and have to set it up, and Netflix have to set it up. Having one universal settings is very nice. So, hey, Roku, 2 thumbs up. I really do like this feature. It's going to be, for people who require those kind of subtitles, very important. All right, Amazon's Freevee is adding 2 new channels for April, and this is leaning into its Earth celebration with BBC Earth and Earth Day 365, both streaming on Amazon Freevee. Now, these seem to be the only 2 new channels this month. They did add 21 new NBC Universal channels last month, but for now, these are the only 2 being added. You can find full details about all these 2 new channels in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. If you are a Fubo customer, by the time you're watching this, you may find you have one less channel. The SNY Sportsnet New York RSN is going to be leaving Fubo. Now, first of all, I do know I misspoke earlier this week when I called it SYN Sports Network. This is the SNY, a little dyslexic moment, my apologies. But this is the SNY Sports Network. It's a regional sports network that carries the Mets. Fubo and them have been sparring over contract renewals. You may have noticed over the weekend that there was a pop-up warning that Fubo would be dropping them. Well, Fubo had confirmed to Core Cars News yesterday before it happened that a deal was not reached and they would be dropping it, and they did. Now, this does not mean it won't come back, but the language here was kind of interesting. It didn't seem like this wasn't like, oh, we're still negotiating. This was like, hey, we decided not to renew our contract with them because they wanted too much money. Now, you can still subscribe to it through other places. I think DirecTV Stream offers it. It is available, if you live outside of its market, through things like MLB.TV, to name a few. But kind of interesting. Fubo is known for sports, in particular having RSNs, but even they are pushing back against some of these high, crazy demands of channels wanting ever more money, demanding higher and higher costs. Again, though, wouldn't surprise me if in the future they reach a deal to return these channels this channel to Fubo. But it's one more example of how streaming services and cable operators can't justify the high cost of many of these different channels and services. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But we'll keep a very close eye on this. Let me know, how important are RSNs to you? Increasingly, they're becoming available as standalone streaming apps through either the RSN, through Major League Baseball, through other places. As more and more do that, make them available as standalone services without the need for a Fubo or a DirecTV Stream and the like, I suspect that more and more cable and streaming services will drop them. Speaking of streaming service, Tubi, the free ad-supported streaming service, now offers 8 live comedy channels. These include Always Funny, Anger Management, Comedy Dynamics, LOL Network, LOL Stand Up, Mystery Science Theater 3000, and more are now available in their comedy catalog. If you want to see all the channels that are available on the Tubi comedy lineup and the descriptions for each channel, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each one there. All right, let's dive into the question of the day. Every day I try to answer a few questions, either in the comments or here in the video. If you have a question for me, leave me a comment with something like a question for Luke, so I know it's something you want me to answer, and I'll do my best to answer them. Today, its question comes from, out here. It says, Luke, any news on standalone news channels like CNN, MSNBC, or Fox without a cable provider? Switch to T-Mobile and can't find a way to get them live. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is you can get them. There are things like Hulu Plus Live TV, Sling TV, Fubo, YouTube TV, and the like that will stream them for money online. Now, you can get a ton of free news through places like Pluto TV, News On, Tubi, and the like, but they're not necessarily the same live feed you see on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and the like. As far as a standalone where you'd be able to pay CNN, Fox News, and the like a chunk of money and get a live feed, the same feed you'd get on a cable or a YouTube TV like streaming subscription, for now we're probably a little bit away from that. For one reason, those are some of the most popular channels on these services. They demand a very high dollar of the subscription cost of things like YouTube TV, Fubo, and the like, compared to many other smaller channels. Now, with that, that means their number one way they raise money is through cable subscriptions, and they're not going to do anything to jeopardize that. We just talked about RSNs. Now that they're going standalone with direct-to-consumer streaming options, some cable providers and now Fubo are just saying you're not worth the high cost you're demanding of us that we have to pass along to our subscribers. So because of that, for now, they're not willing to do it. I think if we continue to see traffic decline and traffic drop, and revenue, which will result in revenue drops because fewer people are paying for cable television, then maybe we will see a standalone streaming version of this. Now, we've seen CNN try something, it didn't work. We've seen Fox launch Fox Nation, which was more hard news at the first, and now it's more into a lifestyle network, which is kind of interesting. But so far, it has shown that people just aren't willing to pay a lot for news, especially when they can get live feeds of CNN, MSN, or NBC, CBS, ABC News for free. NBC News, and I think I said that one, I apologize. Other news networks are popping up on YouTube and Pluto and all over the place, giving you free live news. And because of that, many people are very happy with that, not willing to go pay for Fox News, CNN. Do I think it will happen? Yes. When? I don't know. Maybe it'll be surprising that it will happen this year. Maybe it happens next year. Maybe it happens later. I don't know. But for now, it seems like they're going to try to ride the wave of cable TV as long as they can to save as much money or get as much money as they can. Well, that's it for today. I hope this answered your question. If you have a question for me, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care, be safe. We'll be back again real soon.